Hi, welcome back to MQ Sews. I'm Emma. In today's video, I want to share a recent make with you, so hopefully that interests you and you keep watching. Way back at the beginning of the year or end of last year, I can't really remember, Christine from the Gemini Stitcher asked a bunch of small YouTube channels to contact her if they wanted to be part of her Meet 9 project that she's doing this year. So I contacted her and I said if being in Australia wasn't an issue, then I would love to be involved. I spent most of this year getting to know the other 8 people as part of the Meet 9 project. I'll have a little graphic up on the screen. These are the people involved in the Meet 9 project, and thanks to Jasmine for the graphic. But they are Christine from the Gemini Stitcher, obviously, it was her baby. Pam from Sweet Pea Green, who Christine and I have been working with this month to collaborate with to bring you our projects, which I'll get to in a moment. Jasmine from Jazzleberry Sews, Claire from Claire O'Bobbins, Deb from Sewing with Deb, Lisa from Lisa Dye and Stitches, Natalie from Nurture Handmade, and Vanessa from Sew Lulu Rask. And it's been really lovely getting to know everyone. Christine came up with a bunch of topics at the beginning of the year, and a few caught my eye, but one in particular was making up a pattern that's been in our stash for a really long time that we haven't made yet. So I put my hand up to do this one, and I've been working this month with Christine and Pam. So we've all been working on our own patterns that have been stuck in our stashes and not made for quite some time. But obviously there's many of these patterns in all of our stashes. I'm sure you have lots of patterns in your stash that you haven't made yet either. So I know I'm not alone. How we decided what we were going to make was we picked 3 of the oldest patterns in our stash and put a post up in our WhatsApp group, and the other vloggers voted on what they thought we should make. So let me just tell you what my 3 patterns were. I decided that the 3 patterns I was going to pick were going to be temperature appropriate, weather appropriate, because we're in winter here in Australia. Not that you'd know it from looking at me in no sleeves, but thanks to heating and perimenopause, I don't need anything warmer in the house. But I decided that the patterns I was going to pick were going to be weather appropriate for winter. So the first one I picked was the Lizzy wrap by Style Arc. The next one I chose was the Granite Top by Maison Fauve. And then the last pattern is the Tahoe, which is a shacket pattern by Style Arc. So they were the 3 patterns. So I'll just show you the poll. And as you can see, the other vloggers voted for the Lizzy wrap. So that's what I made. I just went with my bust measurement for this one. So I picked a size 18 and I just made a straight size 18. I didn't grade between the sizes that I would have needed for my high bust and my full bust. I just used my full bust measurement and made the size 18. And I decided to make it in this navy blue, royal blue polar fleece with some Amy Butler fabric, which has been in my stash for literal years because I originally bought it many years ago when I was designing handbags. So if you're new and you don't know, I used to design handbag sewing patterns, and my shop is linked down in the description if you're interested. No pressure. It was just sitting in my stash and I needed fabric that would coordinate with the blue fabric of the polar fleece, so they were a great pairing in my opinion. The edging is actually a facing, and the only other thing that the pattern has is welt pockets. Will I ever do welt pockets the way Style Arc tells you to do them in this pattern ever again? No, I will not. I ended up only half following the instructions. I did end up with functional welt pockets though, so I'm taking that as a win, but I will never do a welt pocket this way ever again. I think the written instructions for the welt pocket were written much harder than they needed to be. But anyway, one more thing to say about the welt pocket. I wish the pattern had said that you might see the welt pocket when the wrap is open, because I would have chosen to make the welt pocket in the polar fleece fabric. In the end, I made it in the Amy Butler fabric, which is fine because it's very pretty on the outside. But it was white cotton fabric on the back. So when the wrap opened, you saw white fabric, which I was like, well, that just looks terrible. So I ended up having just enough of the polar fleece fabric left to be able to cut out a pocket shape and stitch that on the inside. But now the pocket on the outside, you can see, has a stitching line, and that isn't in the pattern, and the only reason that's happened is because I didn't want to see the white when the wrap flipped open. So that's the pocket, and that's all I'm going to say on the pocket. The facings went in perfectly. The measurements were all correct for that. I didn't have to fix anything, so that all went in absolutely perfectly. The only other thing that kind of bothers me about it is the armholes are rather large, and that's probably because I made the size 18. So if I was going to make this pattern again, which I might in the future, but at this point in time, no, I'm not going to. And if I did make it again, I wouldn't put the welt pockets in. I'd put different pockets on. But anyway, if I was going to make this pattern again, I think I would pick a couple size smaller armholes so that they're not so gapey. Other than that, I'm very happy with this. I haven't worn it out. I'm not really sure how to style it in a way that makes it look good, which I have read as other comments of other people who have made this pattern that they've had trouble styling it in the end. It's very warm. I really like how it sort of cuddles you when you're wearing it, but yeah, styling it is really hard. It kind of sits a bit funny on the shoulders. Yeah, so if it was a really cold day and I was wearing a long sleeve t-shirt or something, I definitely would be happy and comfortable wearing it. So that was my finished garment for the Meet 9 project, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So Pam and Christine have videos coming out as part of this making an old pattern that's been forgotten in your stash challenge. So if their videos are out, I'll leave them linked down below, but if they're not out, I'll leave their channels linked below so you can go follow them and then see when they have their videos coming out. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they've made, so hopefully you are too. But that's it from me. I hope you have a creative day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.